Hello, viewer. Ren here. And do you ever make art that you're really impressed by? Like, when you look at it, you question, who made that? And when your memories come back of you doing it, it's almost baffling because it's hard to validate one's own greatness at accomplishing things at times. For example, I made this a few years ago, and it is, to this day, one of my proudest accomplishments and favorite things I've made. The only problem, per se, with making things that are very impressive to yourself is you wonder, will I ever live up to making something that good again? And then when you inevitably struggle and fail and succeed and have so many different experiences when it comes to art, it's so easy to doubt oneself that you'll be able to make something as wonderful as you once have. However, art is a long haul. It is full of oopsies and accidental discoveries and research, trial and error. But I personally think it's a lot of fun, and dear viewer, I would bet that at least some of you do too. So, to make myself feel better and just to bask in the oopsie, let me show you a couple of my less than favorite creations. And this one is a little poignant because, as you can see behind it, it is you might be able to tell this, but it's supposed to be a figure, a person, and I heard of the concept of underpainting and thought I would try my hand at it. I'm covering it up for a reason. And I'm actually really proud with the paste and paper that I'm using to cover it up with. And in one painting, in one canvas, it shows me both the process of defeat and the progress of success. And this canvas would be a failure if I didn't decide to pick it back up again and say, okay, what can I use this for now? What can I change it into that would make it good, would make it something I'm happy with? Transforming the oopsie into something I think is turning out pretty wonderfully. This is a portrait of my dog, by the way. His name's Sebastian. Another oopsie. Dear viewers, I have given into folly. I was sealing some paintings. I have a gift exchange, basically, with some of my closest friends coming up this New Year's. And so I was like, oh, let me seal those paintings with Mod Podge to ensure the longevity of them, should they want them to stay in their lives for a long time. The problem is I did not do my due diligence by washing out my glue brush before using it to apply the Mod Podge and water solution mixture that I generally use to seal my paintings. And much to my chagrin, I give you an oopsie. So you see those white dots? Those aren't supposed to be there. Those, I think, are from my glue brush. I could be mistaken. They could be flakes of paint from my palette. Heck, they could even be flakes of dried up glue or whatever might do that in Mod Podge. Here's another one where it's even more obvious. Yor isn't supposed to have, snow in her hair. And not even dear sweet Mareep is safe. You can see like a couple little dots. Okay, cool, the camera adjusted. And it's at these moments of what feels like utter defeat where I have had to pick myself back up, go, okay, this thing that I have committed a whoopsie on, how can I bring it back to being something I'm proud of? After this video, I intend to get a washcloth with hot soapy water and scrub gently at the flakes to hopefully remove them. If not, acetone is an option, I say with the most pain. I could also see if paint will still stick, even though there's a layer of glue between the normal acrylics, which are more toothy. We'll see. I might update you. If not, I will probably have something on my Insta about it. And another thing with art is that it is definitely a long haul. In all the... overarching all of the whoopsies and successes and everything is how much time us artists put into our craft to continually make it better. And if you're anything like me, dear viewer, you have had projects that span months, that you begin in one year and can't finish to the next year. And that's another frustrating thing, but also to me at least, it has proved my dedication towards the act of creation and how inspiring I can be to myself, I suppose, by keeping going despite feeling so discouraged after things either don't go my way or I am physically unable to work on a project or mentally I just can't fathom working on art. So I'll show you one of my long haul projects. So this bad boy I have been working on since this past April, straight up. So each one of those cherry blossom petals, leaves, what have you, that's a French knot. I have had to make knots, all those hundreds of knots, which, granted, I am super excited about how this is turning out. I'm super excited about the background, and I have felt very defeated at times by it because it has taken since April, and I have worked on it probably a little each week since April, and if not a little each week, I work on it real hard every couple weeks, and then my hands and my arms hurt, and it's hard to work on it until I've recovered from that. But every stitch that I do shows me that I can be dedicated to something and follow through, which is something I have struggled with personally in my life. And if you're anything like me, dear viewer, you probably get the feeling. Especially those of you who are artists out there. One tip that I have learned from ArtTube, and especially channels like ArtProf and Mark Brunette, is that your artistic eyes, your vision, how you perceive colors and values, and your own artwork, and how you interpret the marks made by other artists too, that develops at a different speed than the mechanical parts of making art. So if you're using your hands, if you're using any other part of your body that, if your hands are rendered unable to use, those develop at varying times. They aren't linear, nor do they get better at the same time. And that has been a huge comfort to me, because there are times going through my art journey, there are times when I have noticed more and more things about art, and I have been frustrated at myself with being unable to reproduce them in my own work. But then a few months down the line, I discover that, my line work there looked a lot like this one artist I really enjoy. The colors I used in that painting remind me of this one other artist, and wow, I can really see my progress, and it's rewarding. It's a long haul, don't get me wrong. Everything about it has been a long haul, but it's been a good journey, and I have learned also to enjoy the process rather than being solely focused on the outcome, the product, the end product of all my efforts. Because when I just look to the end product, the process of getting there isn't nearly as enjoyable, because all I can think of are, oh no, the end product can't possibly be as good as some of my other end products, or oh, I keep messing up, I criticize myself as an artist when I look just towards the end goal, rather than being in the moment and enjoying the creation process. It takes a lot of courage to keep going, especially through being discouraged and being angry that your hands or your eyes aren't developing as fast as each other, or if you've hit a stagnant ditch. I know I have been in many, especially coupled with artist block, but it's fun and it's rewarding, and anyone out there who might be considering taking an art journey of their own, go for it. Like, there's nothing you lose other than maybe some patience with yourself here and there, and with your hands and with your eyes. But once you get past that, maybe you'll really enjoy it, and maybe it will teach you things about yourself, like you have the courage to keep going, or the stick-to-itiveness, or passion, or drive, and those can be easily transmuted into helpful things that span across the rest of your life. I know my determination when it has come to making art has helped me figure out ways to get past the mundane, everyday things that are really difficult, whether it's making a phone call, or even just getting out of bed some mornings, or even if I'm not feeling good and going to see a friend. I know that the process of these things, I'll take as much enjoyment out of it as possible, and I don't know, it's made me cherish things more, I suppose, if I want to look at it in a really intense, broad sense. So, that's kind of all I've had to do today, dear viewers. I put the Mod Podge, I was sealing the paintings, and as soon as they dried, and I looked to the sky and was like, what can I do? I'm so frustrated. I thought, you know, I'm not alone in this. I am positive there are plenty of other people who do art oopsies all the time, just as I do. And we can, in solidarity, find something good about it. Well, okay, viewers, that's all for today. I hope you had a good time. I hope you're having a good day, and even if you're not, I hope tomorrow is better. Bye-bye!